That used to be
so viscerally
Z-Freak on
extreme.
this team. Let me remind you, folks, that used to be Z-Freak on this team. Z-Freak, who, as we know, is also an incredibly skilled four-player, but attitude, persona, the way he talks, that is a difference of night and day. And now TOOBASED have this four-player who has that skill set and has that swagger and can call out for exactly what he needs. It's been something that I've talked to Monkeys Forever in the past about. And he said that has been a great fit for the team. So, and I had a lot more to talk about with Flea in that interview that wasn't obviously able to make the air, but this is a man who does care a lot about the connections he has with the team, feeling like a family. He said that it did kind of hurt to unfortunately lose being by the side of someone like Ryoya, who he played with for a long time. But he did mention that when you have this team where you have Monkeys, Annihilate, and Boris, who have been playing together since like 2018, they kind of just welcomed him right in. So, look out. TOOBASED is a team that's suddenly building already on top of a good skill set, a good set of chemistry, and they might be able to pull out some upsets.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. It's NA is fairly tight knit. I would say that Flea is definitely part of the same friend group of Annihilate, Boris, these sorts of players. Like he's part of that group already, despite despite not playing with them in the past. He's at least still friends with them. Empyrean as well. Empyrean's been party queuing with these guys for like years at this point.
And that's why Flea's also able to be so confident in this interview. I would hope that people don't walk away from that thinking Flea's just someone who's very toxic. He's kind of just taking up to the moment that he knows all these people, plays with them day in and day out, and is obviously giving them extra shit.
He's playing a character. He's having fun. He's doing the wrestling thing.
We want the wrestling thing. That is what NA is all about. So take your NA toxicity, please, somewhere else. We have an axe here now, and that is what Suns fan is all about.
Hell yeah. Well, first I wanted to mention that we have been talking about 3 heroes every single draft of every single game, and it feels like at least one gets through every single game, but this game is not the case. Warlock, Puck, Beastmaster are gone. We will not be seeing them. We will actually be seeing regular Dota now. This is what Dota is going to be like for the foreseeable future because those heroes will be nerfed. Of course, Brood along with them because that is a Monkeys Forever classic. But Luna, a lot of magic damage against the Timbersaw. They got rid of the Jug, the Nyx, the Nakes, Lifestealer / Ursa that are also, they can mitigate a lot of that magic damage, if not all of it from Luna. So good bans. But the Axe, gentlemen. Love to see it. It better be a Manta or I'm going to be super disappointed.
I'm actually shocked that they picked a Void into Axe. This is one of the most difficult heroes to deal with, both in lane and in the game. In the lane, you have this damage over time that completely obliterates the Void. Any, Venomancer, Viper, they beat Void for the same reason. And then in the game, you get a Blade Mail and you taunt the Void like he dies from full HP. So that's an interesting pick. They must be really confident in this Void plus Snapfire combo that they're willing to basically give the Void a bad lane in a tough game just to have this combo. Or maybe they think Void is so OP that it doesn't matter.
What do you think of Lesh into Nyx? That's a little bit interesting. It's a support Lesh, so maybe not that big of a deal, but
that's pretty scuffed as well. These are some of these picks are saying they know this, right? They're not these guys have played Dota for a very long time, competitively, even on the tier 2, tier 1.5 scene forever. So it's they know they're picking Lesh into Nyx. They're doing this for some purpose. They must think that this is a really busted strat, They don't have any tower damage, so I do think the Lesh is good for that.
It is a mid Lesh then. Wow.
This is a fast
draft. See some crazy Axe mid shenanigans, but doubtful.
Yeah, this is a speedy one for sure. We were just having that bit of dialogue at the beginning. I looked down, there's only 2 picks left per team suddenly, and now here we are at the final moment. And it's prediction time.
They have really good tower push between Lesh, Abaddon, and Luna, especially later in the game, but I feel like the Lesh, what do you have to buy a BKB then? The Spike Carapace against Pulse Nova just feels like a ridiculously good counter.
Yeah.
Maybe they have something else up their sleeve, but generally speaking, like you said, this is a very bad matchup, the mid to late game.
I suppose it gives them a Timber answer too. Well, then again, the Phoenix is kind of a Timber answer as well. You just tear through them with the percentage magic damage, but it gives them a guaranteed, this Timber's not going to be able to just run down lanes and be that 1v5 guy that's tanking tier 2, tier 3 towers. taking that off the table is pretty nice because it means Timber's not going to have that snowballing game. He's going to be just like a normal hero, which, considering the Ag Shard is so good that it hits buildings, Timber being a normal hero is actually quite fine these days. But still, it gives you an answer.
All right, now we look to see what is the last piece of the puzzle here for the Simply Two-Based, or what I like to hear is the Simply Toothpaste lineup. Simply
Toothpaste?
Toothpaste.
So
That'd
Invoker's
be a good
banned.
sponsor.
That would be good. Death Prophet would be quite solid, I think. Something to stand behind the Timber and push towers. Also does damage into the Chronosphere. They don't have much to kill the egg. That is one issue here. Queen of Pain. So that's an I like classic.
It's been a while, but a traditional mid laner at that, but our drafts are now complete. So this time I'll go to the outside Suns fan. Your take on the drafts and who you got?
I could be outdated in my knowledge on this. I just feel like the Nyx is just way too good this game against a mid hero, what they picked into. So I'll go for Simply Two-Based. They have a lot of damage in the Chronosphere. They have some good combos, but it is a long cooldown for Chrono. That's the big downside with Void.
Okay, Jenkins?
Actually disagree. I think Axe is going to pop off in this game, and I think he can solo kill the two important cores on Two-Based really easily once he pops off.
All right, panel split on this side. Let's go ahead and get ourselves into a break. But when we got back, we've got Lyrical and we've got Aui this time joining on the broadcast with Pop-Tart. Pop-Tart.
Welcome back, Dota fans. We're here for game number 1. Simply Toothpaste facing off against Sad Boys. I need to stop calling him that, Aui. It's a problem. I have a problem. Can you help me? How you doing?
I think it's beyond hope at this point, but yeah, doing well. I'm pretty excited to see these teams. I was thinking, like, when I was listening to those interviews, I was thinking one of the greatest things about watching the NA DPC is week to week, I think you can, like, identify clear growth in each team. And it's really interesting to see that. Hello?
Yeah, I said totally.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Because right
all
before
good.
this, you were making a joke about my mic not working and trying to prank me, so I got
I
scared
was.
and it actually stopped working, you know?
That would have been the greatest thing ever if I just like if you know what would have been really good. Oh my god, hold on, we gotta hold that thought. Flea, he's got boots, he's fine. If I would have just started like talking, but like moving my mouth like I was talking, but not actually saying anything, that would have been
you would have
clutch.
got me. Because like, you know, one thing is the Sad Boys interview last week, we had Ryoya do an interview, and he was talking about how they moved from more of a 4 protect 1 team into a more of a 5-man team. And I thought at the time that was super weird because I watched the major. The Europeans were the ones who didn't pick a carry and doing more 5-man type lineups, and they sucked because their meta was wrong. And I think anyone who watched the major should see that. And he was saying that, and I was like, that sounds really weird. But you can see from this game, like, they picked a really hard carry on Luna. I think they've made that adjustment, and I'm pretty excited to see that change. Oh, walk up the hill here?
Yeah, Moo, gotta back out. It's not gonna end well for you if you keep on chasing in that way. They try and sneak around to the other side. Flea does have a stun, and it looks like they're just gonna trade it out, but it's actually going to be Simply Two-Based getting 3 of the runes. Yeah, I feel like we've been seeing more of the 4 protect 1 still. Like even in that last series, I don't know how much of it you caught, but there were multiple games where Bryle was like rushing a Solar Crest mid even to throw on top of their big carry man.
I mean, I forgot to say this part of the point, but this patch made the map bigger and it made the map faster to farm. So 4 protect 1 or like hyper amping a carry up with the buff Solar Crest is actually stronger this patch than a major patch. So that's also why I was really confused about Rio's interview, but I'm glad to see they made that adjustment.
I think that he was just trying to throw everybody off. That's what's going on here.
Maybe. Mind games. You gotta play the mind games.
There's a meta to the interviews. We're learning what it is. Just lie. That's the meta.
Just lie.
I like that.
I mean, if we saw Flea interview, that's a meta in and of itself, right? Just fucking chatting on them.
He's crazy. He's definitely feeling pretty good about himself. And with good reason, as Z-Freak pulling this wave on through the area there. That's an interesting way. I haven't seen people do it like that before.
I actually like that way as well. It automatically blocks a hard camp when you do it, and the creep, you never have to go uphill, so the creeps never lose vision. He messed up a little bit because I think he didn't realize that he's a 280 MS hero, so he has to like time it better. He wanted to get 3 creeps there, he only got 2, but still, that's an amazing pull for him.
Yeah, even 2 is not going to be bad by any stretch of the imagination.
For sure. Like, you can look at top lane, now there are these 2 creeps riding into tower. Boris is doing a pretty cool trick where he's aggroing these creeps into the tower. That was actually extremely well played by Boris there, in order to get all the CS. But usually what that causes is it makes the carry choose between, do you want to go for the creeps on the right contested by off laner, or do you want to go for the creeps in your tower? And you usually miss some stuff. Ooh, bot lane.
Speaking of missing some stuff, that was a rough little kill there, and I guess the combo, you don't expect a kill in the Abba Luna lane. That's wild.
And like, I was thinking about this too, the Abaddon, like you would think that Timbersaw is really good against these strength melee supports, but Abaddon is actually the one exception because you can remove that Whirling Death debuff and it gives you like your HP back right away. I'm really surprised they managed to kill him though. That's a Boots Nyx versus what I would think is like a lane that's pretty hard to kill with.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit not what we were expecting, but nonetheless, the silence can be strong. And the other thing is, like, Fear does a lot of damage on this Luna. You take that playing Lucent Beam, you buffing everybody up, it's hard to deal with.
I think Luna's actually, she's like a weird hero in lane, but versus these two melee lanes that don't have a lot of kill potential on you and threat and harass, she's actually a really strong laner. She gets a lot weaker when you're playing against these, like, I don't know, like a Mars Lina lane or Centaur Lina, where like you can walk up and try to hit them, but since your range is so low, they always have that kill threat on you.
Right. Danger, danger, danger for sure. You can see here in the mid lane at the very least, Ray is having a pretty good time. He's able to mess around with Annihilate a little bit in his last hitting some pretty clutch stuns, which messed up the last scene under tower.
For sure. And I think this is a counter pick by Annihilate. So when he picked this hero, he's saying that he's going to win the lane and do well in the game. Generally, that's what you want from a mid counter pick. But I think what you said basically is like Ryoya's outplaying him a bit in this lane. It's looking good for his team because of that.
Yeah. You know, it's a tough situation. Yeah, if you start falling behind early, I mean, I don't know, maybe it changes depending upon the levels that you get in this one. But I feel like Queen of Pain is not the one that wants to be playing from behind.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. I actually really like the Queen of Pain pick. I think it's the hero I would have suggested if I was on their team. But Ryo is just... I'm watching this lane now, and you're right, he's doing a masterful job in that one. The other thing that's sort of weird this game is like, we saw like the team sort of counter-pick themselves. Like the Leshrac into Nyx and the Void into Axe. I was just talking to one of the European carries, and he was talking about this Void hero. And he said one of the heroes he doesn't like playing against is this Axe hero, and instantly they picked Void into Axe. So that was that was a bit weird.
No. Boris so far is doing okay, not quite at the same level as the Luna, as we can see them chase the Timbersaw back out of lane yet again. But it has been sort of a decent lane so far for Boris. But I would imagine it gets worse as time goes on.
Yeah, I think this matchup might have changed a bit, or might not be too bad, because the Voids are like going SMY now, which is really good against Axe. But in the lane, like in my head, that just sounds really hard for him. I think the Axe's build is a bit... Like, I haven't seen this with Void. I don't quite understand why you put 2 in Battle Hunger versus him. I think you sort of want this like level 4 timing where you have 2 in spin and 1 in call, and every time he comes up to try... Yeah, you just call him, and you do a lot of damage to him. So I'm excited to see how that works out. I think Jenkins mentioned on the panel that the DOT type damage is really good with Void, because obviously it can heal from any burst. So maybe it's like with that line of thought.
Yeah, this would sort of signal to me that he's going to keep putting those points in it and trying to extend that laning phase out for a longer period of time. But maybe the idea there could be that you wanted to force him out. But you can see right here, Snapfire Phoenix apparently puts Phoenix up, and they are a 53% win rate. Interesting. I mean, because this is normally thought of as one of the counters for it, right? Is the Snapfire just being in there, able to burst the egg almost immediately.
Yeah, I mean, having your support hit the egg is always sort of an unreliable counter. I think the only one that it was really true for was Potom. Because the 3 traditional supports are Potom, Lina, and Snapfire. But like, if I'm a Snapfire and I have to walk up to hit the egg, like, if I'm against a good team, they're just going to jump me and hit me on it.
Right.
So that's probably... I can sort of see that. You got all team fault. Ooh. Right. Queen of Pain going down, it looks like. Ooh, nice Fairy Fire.
Living, trying to, and able to get out. That damage over time not going to be enough. Shares the tango and able to back away.
Oh, that's big. Leshrac also, like, the thing about this Leshrac hero is he's a very strong hero in bursts, right? Because he's limited by stuff that aren't his spells. Like, he's limited mostly by his mana and HP. And like, he purely does damage based on that mana. It doesn't matter, like it just scales really well. So, but if you go for these kills and you miss them, then you start to lose resources. And I think what that means is we'll see. I think Queen should go here and try to look for a spot to use her ultimate. She's getting this bounce rune, she has boots coming, and we'll see like a TP in. I think they should kill Axe. This guy's a free kill right now.
Yeah, definitely. Has that Vanguard, but obviously
Void
don't care about
the
it.
lane, like, pretty hard. I think it has to do with the skill build. Like, I even saw Monster do this cool thing where he pulled 3 melee creeps onto half the wave in front of his tier 1, got 2 denies out of EXP range, which are effectively like double deny efficiency. Mid lane.
Back towards mid. They try and go there. I Annihilate has to blink away, but doesn't have it on cooldown for another 3 seconds. And decides to go for the kill mid with the help of Flea, and that just doesn't work.
That's like such a weird play to go for, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you have this power spike, you see like the enemy offlaner is like, he was at 300 HP when she got her ultimate and picked up the bounty rune.
Right.
And like, he's trying to go for this full HP Leshrac who can easily turn around on you with the Abaddon on the team. I think it's a bit of a communication breakdown there that they're not calling for this kill on top lane. Now Queen, oh sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, it feels like maybe part of it too could be like what they were hoping to get out of this lane, to like that Lesh wasn't gonna get as much and that she was gonna get more. So like it's a desire to correct that.
I can see that actually. He's like losing his lane and he's like internalizing that pressure, right? Like he's like, I should be doing better than this. You guys need to help me so I can fix it.
Right.
And like, it ends up being bad, but now that you said that, like that makes a lot of sense for what happened. I think crap, I forgot what I was gonna say. It'll come back to me.
It's fine. Don't even trip, Chocolate Chip. It's all good. We got a Possessed Mask, though. That is the item and a half. Fear has had, like, the coolest game ever. He picked up that Arcane Ring. He's now going to be going in for the Mask of Madness early. 60 last hits here at 8.5 minutes as they're going to go up top, trying to take down the Axe. The big old stun comes out. Chrono even going to be used. He's still spitting. They got to run away. Okay, that did not feel good if you are you're simply TOOBASED.
Yeah, and that's all related. I've just remembered what I was going to say. The Queen, after she died, she had to use her TP to mid lane. Like, you can imagine this top play where Queen just TPs in and that Axe just pops. Honestly, they probably killed Abaddon too, right? Yeah. And instead of getting like a free 1-2 kills on important heroes, you're just using your Chronosphere, rotating heroes for nothing, and now it looks really bad for you. Another thing, this Axe is going to be fat. Like, look at that Ancient stack. Like, most people would give this to their Luna, but I actually think Axe should just take it with his Vanguard. He's going to have like a 11.5 minute Blink Dagger Vanguard, and it's going to be insane on the map. These heroes like Luna, they don't... Like, you farm Ancient stacks well, and you farm really fast. But honestly, you don't farm faster at Ancient stacks than you do as long as you're hitting creeps anywhere. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, nothing about her skill sets make farming Ancients specifically better for her. Like, Axe farms Ancients faster than he would normal creeps. Sven farms Ancients faster than he would normal creeps, right? Because they have these, like, cleaver AoE mechanics. Glaives don't really work like that. As long as there's 2 units, you're doing maximum damage.
All right, it's that she can farm it, but if other people
for sure. I mean,
then...
at the same time, like, when I play Luna, I always ask my allies to farm Ancients, because it's still the fastest farm. But personally, I would rather, like, if I were playing the Luna, and I had the option to get, like, a little bit fatter, or have my Axe get a lot fatter and then carry me so I can just AFK farm and be happy, I would definitely choose the second one there.
Well, Fear might need to be a little bit careful because the rotation is coming in now. Looking for that stun. They find it. Nobody else is home. Sonic Wave doesn't have the mana. Oh, doesn't matter. He's fine. I thought there was a TP coming in, but they ended up canceling it on the Moo Abba. So
that's a huge kill. That's Queen back in the game. He got the kill on the highest net worth hero in the game, and he didn't even have to use his ultimate. So now he gets to look top.
Oh, chase down here. If they can get Royaya, I mean, it's still really hard to kill this. Boris doesn't feel comfortable walking in, and Royaya actually is going to be able to live through that. Jeez, imagine if he had Chrono right there.
Yeah, like, just the mistakes from the Dire, they're compounding, right? Like, first they couldn't combine the Chrono and Queen ulti. Like, we haven't seen a Queen ulti yet at 11 minutes, which is really rare for Queen of Pain. I think this hero's ultimate is what defines this hero for the most of the early game. And, you know, not having Chrono there means the enemy mid lives. It's a big deal, these mistakes. And I like Radiant, they're not doing anything specific to punish it, but their solid play is, like, automatically punishing it.
Well, and more so than that, too, now. You have Monster that did clear through that Ancient stack while that stuff was going on. And now, if he wants to be, he's more than halfway to a Blink Dagger, second highest net worth in the game, and they're going to try and go on him. Lesh eventually will get taken down. So Boris took some damage for it, but manages to clean up in the end.
That's a good kill. It doesn't matter if you can't use Chrono the first kill, you just get it right after, right? I think there's something I heard, I can't remember who was talking about it, but he hates it when heroes force heroes to, like, a lane where a tower is, and then you just die to them after. I think it might have been Jenkins. But I was like, yeah. And then Leshrac sort of just did that, right? Like, he made this really nice play where he didn't die to a Queen of Pain Void, and he just sort of hangs around and feeds.
Right.
And, like, that's rough, you know? Because you made a good play, and then you nullified your good play, plus made it worse.
Right.
So...
Well, yeah, because, you know, that's also time when you're not farming, when you're making the good play to dodge it at the beginning. Yeah. Very frustrating, I'm sure.
I'd like to see Fear get onto the spot lane.
Up top? Oh, no, I thought they were going to go there on Boris, but he's got a
Or
call in a
Daddy.
creep wave. Didn't matter.
I think as soon as Void uses Chronosphere, I think the safest place on the map for him is going to be farming top. It's also a faster farming pattern than staying around the bottom side of the map. I think, and it honestly takes away from your team when you stay bottom, because I think Z-Freak's the one who wants to really get this. You see him moving from the lane now, but there's no pressure on the top lane. Like, they need pressure on this top tower so that Dire can't just keep running at the spot tower, and they don't have that without the top. Z-Freak doing some jukes though.
Yeah, trying to get out of here, trying to live, and Monkeys, Chakram. Oh, that would have been a kill. There were so many trees there. Oh, unfortunate for Monkeys Forever, but Z-Freak able to live through that one, and it looks like pressure's going to be mounting towards mid lane.
I like how Monkeys Forever just knew exactly where Z-Freak was, like just intuitively. There's like 4 directions he can go, and he just picks the right one.
Ooh, don't look now. They do drop down a sentry ward, so they'll see Flea as soon as he comes out of this one, but looks like they're not going to set up to defend.
You know, I said I didn't like, I wanted Fear to go play on top side, but honestly, that move he just did is like, it's one of
Even
the best
better.
moves. It's so good. Like, if you can contribute as a hard farming carry, like to tower pushes or taking these towers for your team, like, you're doing so much for them, right? Like, it's something that goes above and beyond what's expected of your role. Because if you look at hard carry, like, you think, oh, you're gonna farm fast, carry the game. And Fear's like, nah, I'm gonna farm fast, carry the game, and I'm gonna take the enemy towers. And all of a sudden, he's gonna turn the game on his head.
Well, blink down bottom. There's another way to turn your head, or way on your head. So they find the kill onto Timber. That was much needed, but it was also the blink reveal. But that means they managed to keep their tier 1 tower alive down bottom.
Yeah, that's huge. And you can
top?
see the Slashback pick. Ooh,
Oh, no.
hunting Fear.
He's in trouble. They got Chrono ready. Jump in, looking for the chase down and the kill. Boris has that Chrono. They combo together the Impale afterwards, and they might even need Chrono for this one. They could just run down Moo. Oh my goodness gracious. What a great move there from Simply TOOBASED.
Amazing play. The Simply TOOBASED, they see the opponents on bot lane committing resources to defend this tower, and immediately they're like, okay, your opponent's controlling bot lane, we're gonna smoke to the other side and kill your carry. Really heads up play with them.
Oh, but then the turnaround here. They tried to get on a Monkeys. Monster's still in pretty deep. Timber chain through, got him caught, the hit with the Vendetta, Impale afterwards, and now they pop the egg. These guys are gonna kill it. Oh no, implosion from Sadboys.
Simply TOOBASED are playing this map so well. Like, look at this. They kill someone top, they kill 2 heroes. Okay, so I need to go over the entire sequence, because like how they read this map is just so good. So the Radiant team commits resources to defend the bot tower, right? They kill this Timbersaw. It's looking bad, you know, you just lost your offlaner, you don't want this hero to die. But their reaction to it is, okay, they showed heroes, let's smoke up to the other side of the map where they're going to be weak and take a fight there. They instantly kill 2 heroes. Now they've identified they have a resource advantage on the map, and they use it to, like, kill them bottom. It's just such good movement, and they're snowballing their plays. Like, this is really impressive. Now they get mid. That's
another one.
5 kills in the span of a minute?
Well, and the pressure's coming on. Royo's trying to keep them off, but they got him. Caught, chased down, killed Monster with the big call, but there's no creeps nearby. There's no nothing. He's in trouble too. They got to get the hell out of there. And they might even just get the tier 1 tower mid off of this to boot. Like, such clean play. And I mean, some of it is obviously, like you said, Simply TOOBASED making really good moves. There's also parts of this which feels like Sadboys just being a little bit too cavalier with their moves and then getting punished really hard for it.
I think you're right on that. I think Sadboys, the reading of the map is actually at a level below TOOBASED right now. Because like these moves are happening because, you know, the lanes are pushing slightly more in for TOOBASED, even though they honestly shouldn't be. They have Luna and Leshrac with travels. And because of that, they're like vulnerable in these lanes, and TOOBASED are just punishing them for it.
Right.
I was saying, like, this reminds me of watching a lot of these, like, some of these better European teams, honestly. But then I realized Europe sucked at the major and NA's better. So these guys are just like the good NA teams.
Exactly. That's good. You know, I watched a couple of games from EU, and I saw them pulling out the NA strats because you know they need to learn. It's good
That's
to
true.
see. It's good to see like you know the lower level divisions and teams like learning from the better regions. It's important.
You gotta help
Flea?
the little guys.
Exactly. Like get the spike carapace off afterwards, which means Monster can't go for the follow up dunk, and
That's like-
that smoke doesn't connect.
That's such a weird smoke from sadboys though. Like if you look at their lineup, you're like, who do I want in the smokes? I want Axe, I want Phoenix because they pair well together for damage, and generally you want Leshak because he also provides damage. Like why do I want an Abaddon in the smoke?
True. Well, now Abba going in there maybe to break a smoke, but he's just going to get brought down regardless. And while this is happening, Mr. Boris on the other side of the map getting his farm on, going back for the Sanj afterwards. I think it's coming out to him on the courier.
How is Boris ahead of Luna in farm? What's happening? That's insane. Luna,
I mean,
honestly,
Fear's
Luna is the
died twice.
fastest farmer in this patch.
Right.
I feel like Fear could have like 3 deaths and he should be ahead of net worth and Boris. I think Boris is honestly just playing really well. He came to these fights at the right moments and he got like last hits on heroes, right? And like boosts his farm. Like he's just playing really well.
Very,
Like,
very nice
Fear's
stuff.
laning stage was insane, right? And Boris is like, he counterpicked himself. Apparently not. He still won his lane. This guy's he's just good. I don't know what to
He's
say.
very good. Very, very good.
I think his item decisions are just. I mean, this is just the standard Void build, but it is very correct, right? You get your Mask of Master, your Maelstrom, so you can farm fast, and then you get this SMY, so you don't die to this Axe call. Royo is setting up on bottom though, but it looks like he's alone. I don't think he's gonna get anything here.
A Monster trying to find anybody mid, but it's just not going to be there. And I Annihilate still staying alive. One for the Blade Mail build. Haven't seen that one on a Quap in a while. You remember back when it was
The
you would
spell lifesteal.
the spell life steal? You pop Blade
Oh.
Mail, you just gain life.
Yeah, you would be you get 25. You buy Blade Mail Radiant, you blink into 5 heroes, and you take 0 damage. Like they would stun
good.
you, and you would literally take 0 damage. It's the dumbest thing I've seen.
I don't know if that still works like that. I do know it doesn't.
Gets
Stun.
Chrono.
Monster comes out afterwards. They try and heal him back up. Snapfire ulti out, not doing a ton of damage, but Chrono connects onto 3 with Timber on the other side. The Sonic Wave. Royoya falls. Oh, simply too based. Simply too good. They will kill off all the cores. Only the supports get out. God damn, Aui. That was nasty.
That they're honestly just looking like a team on a different tier than Sadboys. And you look at Sadboys players, and like, I don't know how this would be the case. Like in my head, like I rate Mu and Z. I mean, I rate all 5 of their players pretty highly, to be honest. But
Right.
Z-Freak and Mu are like big standouts to me in particular. I think these are top tier players, and TOOBASED, you know, they're sort of like a ragtag bunch coming into NA qualifiers, and they're showing what they're worth here. They're playing really well.
Totally. Well, there's always this like interesting idea, right, of like these people that have been around the scene for a long time and that, you know, have sort of grinded out and open qualifiers or other stuff, but they haven't really been able to make it onto big teams. And you always wonder, like, what would happen if that guy sort of, you know, was consistently playing and consistently practicing. And it feels like they're showing up here. They're looking really good. Very impressed with Simply TOOBASED,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
it's cool to see growth.
And to add to that, like, usually, like, these people, you would get your chance in, like, some tournament qualifiers, and you'll play your... Oh, what, hold that thought, mid lane.
I mean, Imperium's just dead. It's
He's just
whatever.
dead. He's dead. But they're also catching Annihilate here. He has a Blade Mail, he just blinks out. He's going to be fine. Like, usually you'll play these small tournaments. You'd only get to play for, like, 3 or 4 days. Maybe sometimes only, like, 1 series versus a good team. And you wouldn't really have the time to think about the games and learn from them. It was just games, really quick, right? Some bracket. But in this new DPC system, I think it's actually really well set up for improving on these new teams, because between every game, you have a long time to analyze and like reflect upon yourself, practice new strategies, and we're seeing that. Like, it's not just in the NA region. I think a lot of regions are showing these like sort of understated teams performing better than people are expecting.
Right. Oh, and that's only going to make the teams that are at the top as well have to perform better and raise the level of everybody's play all across Dota. So liking what we're seeing so far. Granted, this game in no way over at all. It's only a 2,000 gold lead, but I've been very impressed with their performance. If you're Sadboys now, how do you get your feet back under you? Like, what are they playing for? What's sort of the goal for them at this point now?
So I'm not too sure, because right now TOOBASED has all the timings. They have this Aegis, they have Chronosphere coming back in a few seconds. I think what you need to do is you need to force them to a side lane and overwhelm them somewhere on the map. Like, the one thing that they have over TOOBASED still is that I think their lane shove is superior. They have this bots on Leshak, they have this Manta on Luna. They can use that to create sort of map pressure. The problem is, TOOBASED have been playing this map really well and reading it really well. Honestly, on another tier than sadboys, so I'm not too sure if they're like capable of making that switch in this game. Maybe for next game they'll think about it, but like it's hard to adjust like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. You need to sort of spread out and make sure that you're not getting caught in a big fight or something like that.
Because, like, to be honest, for how bot and mid lane went, like, I expect this game to be very different. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Flea scouting things out. Roya is there. Are they going to try and collapse on this? They're going over to the other side. Z-Freak is up here as well, so they have a ton of vision. But it looks like for now, they're just comfortable pushing out the other side lanes and maybe going to come in to defend this now.
they're catching Z-Freak here.
Catches him. Follow-up comes. Z-Freak trying to run away. He manages to find the only way away from there. Can he actually escape, though? Tries to go for the TP. Not going to happen. Rough.
That was pretty well played by Z-Freak, I gotta say, though. Like, the presence of mind, you know, the Nyx goes on you, you don't use your dive because he's gonna stun you with Carapace. It's like a solid play. Doesn't end up doing anything, but I can appreciate that.
That's a space created, chat wheel. That's
True.
That's the way of it.
Well, big smoke coming up from TOOBASED. I think something that I've been noticing in this game is they're really good at chaining their plays. Like, sadboys aren't, when they're low on resources because they have heroes dead or the lanes are pushed in, like, they're being punished by TOOBASED.
Well, that unfortunately
that was
there
a little
will
bit
be
weird. You know, the Nyx just walked in front. He didn't have Vendetta on.
Yeah, we won't talk about that one. That's fine. These things happen.
You gotta give them mercy. At the same time, like sadboys, something they are doing well is that I've been talking a lot about TOOBASED are playing the map well, but sadboys are still actually out farming them. This lead, while sadboys have lost heroes here and there, they've actually closed the lead down to 1k. And I think that's a lot based on, as mentioned before, like this Leshak has travels. He's pushing waves all the way from his tier 3 all the way to the enemy tier 2.
And that's what they have to have happen and try and buy these times for the BKBs to come online. Roy working on his. Probably see the rest of them come out soon as well.
The other thing is, this is the Aegis timer, right? I think one of the things I don't like the least, I like the least about some of these teams in the NA qualifiers is I've seen teams take Aegises, and they're too concentrated on trying to fight with it. Like, part of what makes Aegis really strong is that you can push into areas of the map that you're not supposed to be able to because you just have this extra life. You have an extra hero. And that means that you can use the Aegis to take farm away from your opponents. And I don't think, while TOOBASED, they did really good jobs reading the map when enemies are at towers or where they could move, because I don't think they've, like, sectioned off the map in a way that Radiant couldn't farm. We are seeing a catch here, though.
Yeah, and this is a nice one here if they can get the kill into Phoenix. He does still have dive. And we'll try and make it work. No bash. Getting out. Z-Freak. All right. He's away. Didn't they try and change that? Oh, God. Back towards mid, though. Oh, Monkeys Forever in a little bit of trouble. He's silent. He's still taking so much damage, but is able to live through it all. Yeah, Hood is a good item. And now he walks back into Moo. Oh, Lordy. Man, oh, man. Manages to escape. Timbersaw is still a pretty good hero.
Yeah, and this is a Timbersaw with sort of, like, I would say, a bad laning stage. I think Monkeys Forever has done a good job coming back into this game. And he's really forming that wall. Like, he's the one who's supposed to restrict farm. Oh, catch on the Luna here.
A chance. Sonic Wave already used.
That's a big kill.
They take down Fear at the start, and the egg is just going to drop to Empyrean. One more punch ends it out. And now the turn on to Moo, dead again. 5-17, a 4,000 gold lead. They're making all the right moves.
You know, I just like, I feel like everything I say, they can actually just hear me.
Yeah,
or they're just set out to prove me wrong, you know? Because like, I say like,
make
I
sure
say
they're not in
Snapfire isn't that great against Phoenix. I can see why Phoenix is better win rate. Empyrean just, he made Z-Freak was literally a creep. Like, he just pressed E and hit his egg and it just dies. You know, I say like, they're not cutting off the map farm properly. They literally just walk into any triangle, kill 3 heroes, and swing the game. Like,
no.
They're cheating, right? They can hear me?
They can hear you, exactly.
Normal caster stuff, or?
This is how it is. It just works that way sometimes.
Okay.
To be fair, I think with the with the stat thing was that they just it was a very slight lead, but it wasn't one that was
That's
super
true.
significant.
But the thing is, like, those stat leads are weird because normally people see it as a harder counter, right?
Right.
Like, they think like, oh,
no.
you picked Phoenix, lol, I'm picking Snapfire.
Right, yeah, he goes down again. Boris on the job with Flea right there behind him. They've been making it work.
I gotta say,
it's crazy.
the panel is talking about how Nyx countered Leshrac, and they're also talking about Axe counter Void. But one of those counters is looking real good in this game, and
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you only watch this game, you'd think Void counters Axe. So, yeah, whether that's, I don't know if it's really good play by Boris or a little bit of sloppy play from the Sad Boy side, but nah, they're making it work. I'm a fan.
And iAnnihilate just being a menace in there. Has the Shard, Blade Mail, and then Kaya Sanj just running down Fear. Oh no, has he gone too far though? The cookie away, tries to live. iAnnihilate gets the Essence Ring off and is able to live through all of it. What in the hell is this build? I love it from iAnnihilate. It's really cool.
Nah, this is a really creative build. Because, like, we'll talk about after the fight. You see Void going on at the Cure to counter him, just beating him up.
Doesn't care. Oh, good Yules. That would have been a chrono for sure. Might still have it afterwards, to be honest. No, I'm not going to go for any more. Moo gets his ulti popped. He's got to run away. Monkeys Forever thinking about going back in. Roya puts the stop on that one, though.
This Queen build is so good. It's actually so good this game, because you're behind, and you're like, what item can I buy on Queen to make it so that Leshrac can't run me over?
Right.
And I think it's only Blade Mail, right? Because Leshrac has uncontrollable AoE damage. Like, if you buy a Yules, if you go for Orchid, like, I don't know what else you can build. Like, maybe you can buy a Hood, but that's, like, just bad.
Right.
So this build is really good. He blinks in with a Shard, he silences everyone, does extra damage, and he just Blade Mails. And what do? And he backs up with this Kai and Sanj item, which is honestly a really strong item this patch. Void looking bottom for Chrono.
Trying to. They're taking down the Nyx first, gets dunked, but afterwards, Boris looking for the chase down here, thinking about it. He wants to go after one, can't quite find him in time. Boris might be going a bit too deep. BKB even popped now as Z-Freak goes for the dive away, still hanging onto that egg. Things getting a little bit weird here. I've simply TOOBASED gone a bit too far. Now they try and take it down. Chrono barely catches Fear on the other side of it, but they use it to kill the egg. Empyrean tries to back out, Moo down low, ulti out again. Another round of dunks as Empyrean will fall, and the rest of them TP away, except for Monkeys Forever, who might be finally fallen. So a little bit of a turnaround there as Sad Boys able to take down 3 in turn.
Really good punish from Sad Boys there. I think they've recognized, like, the only way to win these fights versus the Dire team is you need to start with, like, a kill on a vulnerable hero, which is pretty much only the supports on Dire at this point, and then chain it into a team fight where you, like, outnumber them. And they did a beautiful punish on that. The spellcasting was just on point there, and as a result, like, they have the map back. I'm not too sure if it's going to lead to anything here, just because it seems like they all had to go heal after that fight, which is unfortunate. Usually when the enemy has heroes down, you want to push your line on the map forward, so to get those creeps moving.
Right. There is Roche available as well, which could be a target. That next, the actual second Roche was up. I wonder if they could have gone for that, actually. I guess they don't have any minus
Luna
armor.
and Abaddon though, which is like a lot of damage. So this is the same thing. They're picking off these vulnerable supports at the start. We'll see if they can chain into fight. There's no Chronosphere. They might get Roshan here.
Yeah, you just got to go Roche here, surely. Solar Crest, Abba, like, this is second Roche too. This is such a huge turnaround here for Sad Boys if they can get it cleanly. But can they get it cleanly?
I feel like this is a bit of like the veteran leadership on Sad Boy side. Like I can see like Fear and Moo coordinating these like plays. Like you're behind, but they've been behind before. They know what to do, and they're getting these fights. Oh
god, they got to get there quick. It's really deadly. Monkeys wants to run right on in. They don't have Chrono available, but they have the Snapfire ultimate going out. They pick everything up out of the pit, but do manage to get the kill onto Monster and Z-Freak. So, I mean, that's rough. You get there a couple seconds earlier. It's really good for simply TOOBASED, and instead it's Sad Boys coming out with that second Roche. What a huge win for them. I mean, they lose 3, so.
It's like, it's weird because I think at the end of the day, that was good for Sad Boys. Not because of what happened there, but because Dire couldn't get the Aegis. Because Dire's win condition right now is you get an Aegis on Void, he walks up, he hits your high ground, you lose the game. But because you get that Aegis, you're still in this game. You can still make a comeback. Like, honestly, I don't know how much this Aegis Chi Shard helps them in the actual fight. Obviously, it helps a lot. Like, they're big items. But the main reason that was good is because, you know, you don't just outright lose the game. generally, I think I've seen this a lot where games are even, and then one team tries to sneak a Roshan, and the other one, like, they get the Aegis, they get out with it, but the other team kills the heroes. And honestly, what ends up happening from that is that the enemy team, the one who did not get the Aegis, because they're up heroes, pushes all the lanes in. So now you have this Aegis, but you have to spend all your time with this oppressive map state, where you're just constantly trying to push out these lanes. I think that's what we're going to see a bit. Like, the first 2 minutes of this Aegis are not even a thing. Like, you won't get to use that at all. Look at bot lane, look at mid lane. They have to group up together just to push out top lane, because when you do these Roshans, like, all your lanes push in, you lose heroes, your lanes push in more, and you have no idea where anyone is on the map.
Yeah, they have this one ward up on Radiant high ground over there, and they're going to get their other one that was on the map, get and take it away as well. So, or rather on Dire side jungle, that's where the one ward was for Radiant.
Like, look at the gold swing there. They got the
Yeah.
Roshan, but they went down, like, there was a buyback on Nyx even, I think, and they still went down 4k more gold, I think, there.
Right. Yeah,
And,
it only ends up being good if they can actually, like, take a fight off of it or something and use that Aegis in a good way.
Honestly, ideally, you just get out. Like, if they get out with all 5 of their heroes there, I think they're pretty happy there. But because they lost heroes, it ends up looking a bit sus, a little bit sus.
Fair enough.
Something I want to note, because I really like this stuff, is if you blink on something with the Queen of Pain, use your third spell, and the creeps all hit you once, it full kills a wave, which I can appreciate for this build, you know, because he has an extra for Kai Sanj. Oh, bot lane.
Looking for it.
So
Quick
Lashrak
jump.
counter.
Easy peasy. Damn, dude. That's wild.
That's rough, to be honest. I think, like, what do you even do as Lashrak? Are you going to buy an Aeon Disc so support pops it in 1 mana burn? Like, it's hard to play this matchup. You have to snowball the map.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, because, like, even there, you know, if you manage chance for a kill, I mean, this is Flea. He did buy back.
They can turn this.
Chase, Annihilate looking for it. Flea's able to live through that first round, and now the turn. Monster going to TP out. Bash not going to be there for poor old Boris, but they are going to kill off the Phoenix Egg. And now looking for more Fear. Oh,
he has no
that one's
TP.
tough. Fear is in trouble. The chase down, the BKB walking away. They want to try and get this kill without having to use Chrono, and I think that they might if they're quick enough on it. And yeah, with the body blocks, the chakram, and they got him once. They got it for round 2 now. The rest of the team trying to move into position. Monster's there looking for the big call. Nope, they're not going to do it. They got interrupted. Flea was there to mess them up. Monster falls yet again. Pretty stuff from Simply TOOBASED.
All planned by Flea. Easy bait. He was like, guys, I'm going to bait here. They're not going to change the spells perfectly as possible. I'm going to use myself. You guys are going to TP 4 heroes. We're just going to kill everyone. Yeah.
And they still have Chrono.
They do.
Like, walking up this hill.
And we can see what you, like, the Aegis earlier. Like, what did that do for Radiant? Like,
Yeah.
their carrier just dies twice with it because their map got really bad. Like, how are they supposed to play to the map when they're behind on it?
It's not really going to happen. They got the flamethrower now as well. Start taking down the barracks.
I have the win condition for Radiant. They need to buy the Lashrak Shard.
Okay.
And it needs to stun, like, 4 heroes twice under a Phoenix Egg. And then they can win.
You know, it's possible. That shard's ridiculous.
I've actually lost to that Lashrak Shard versus Boris, actually, in the pub. So, Nyx versus Lashrak.
Sonic Wave comes out dead. God, Raya just doesn't have a game. Like, at all.
Slight mistake by Mood there. I don't think it actually mattered, but just as like a educational thing, if you're used as Abaddon, you can actually ulti yourself just so you can get the shield off on Lashrak there, and he could get BKB off. So what would have happened is Lashrak would have lived, and then Void would have chronoed them, and they all would have died. But I thought, you know, it's interesting that you can do that, right? You can remove these, like, you know, Panda Scepter, Panda Ultimate Tornadoes and Yo Scepter and stuff. But yeah.
Right.
I mean, it literally didn't change anything. I just want to say it.
He wouldn't have Chrono right now. That would be the difference.
Right. That's actually true. And that looks like to be a big difference, right? Because TOOBASED, they, like, ask these guys if they care about Roshan. Like, they are TOOBASED, you know? They will go high ground. They do not care. And this Void, like, look at his, he's just, how do you kill this man?
Yeah, I don't think you can at this point.
Like,
3,700.
You blade mail and call him, but this Axe has like a BKB and a Vanguard.
Right.
And even if he had a blade mail, I think he does more damage to himself.
Big old jump in there for a moment, but it's not really turned into anything afterwards. Fear. Oh, he's got the shard. Think I'm coming for you, but I'm
Sorry,
not.
that's one of my favorite shards in the game, honestly. Like,
It's
not
ridiculous.
for utility, but just for what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little fake out.
Dude,
You like to see it.
And I love it. Like, Dire know they've won this game. You don't
Right.
need to go dive with Chronos here. You don't need to play. The only way they can lose this game here is if they Chrono, Radiant buys back, and they get baited into a bad fight.
Monkeys, he's just
No,
flamethrowing
he's
like
literally
wall
burning the
stun.
buildings. Look at his buildings. They're dying.
Dude, and the alt chat afterwards. You love to see it. Dude,
Look at
heart,
him. He's a
40
beast.
4,300 HP on Monkeys. Keeps the fire burning. They try and find the backlines. Boris is there. The beatdown continues as Fear is gone. Has to buy back immediately. Chrono comes out onto 3, pushing them all out of the way. Monster's about to fall. So too is Moo. One by one, they all end up falling. And, well, there's the stun. There's the kill. I think it's about time to call GG. Roya does it. It was a well-executed plan by Simply TOOBASED. Super impressed with them this game.
Yeah, same. I'm very happy that they're playing this well, because I think, like, for anyone who plays these NA pubs or has interacted with these people, like, these are 5 of the people. Like, I personally, most of the people I meet in pubs, I don't want them to succeed. I'm just gonna say it. I don't like them. But these guys, like, I actually really want these guys to succeed and do well. So
Okay.
yeah, happy to see that.
That's good. I like to hear that. You know, a little bit of honesty mixed with a little bit of love there.
I mean, if you played NA pubs, you'd understand, right? Like, they're just, I don't know what to tell you. Like, some people just don't want to win.
That's fair. These guys definitely wanted to win this game. Sad Boys, it was a tough match for them. And I guess like what you were talking about was that it felt like there was an opportunity for either team to win this one, and it came down much more to the moves on the map that you felt like defined this game, that more so than the drafts. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it was weird because I expected top lane to be better for Sad Boys, but I expected mid lane to be better for TOOBASED.
Right.
And in spite of, like, that sort of evens out, and in spite of that, like, they just looked like, it was like their movements were just on a different tier. It's not like they really did anything too fancy, right? Like, they didn't need, well, they had good spellcasting, they hit the right spells, they did the right things. It's not like some, like, oh, I'm gonna make a highlight reel of this game. It was just solid, good, fundamental Dota play. And I think they just outplayed them like that. And honestly, that's my favorite way to see Dota wins. Like, just, you know, good theory.
Totally. That's all you need sometimes. I think, to use the basketball analogy, because that's sort of about the NADPC. Apparently, it's the chest pass. You don't need the bounce pass. You don't need the one hand back behind the back type of thing. You just go straight to the person. And now that we've lost a lot of our audience, we're going to go to a quick break. When we get back, the panel's going to break down all the action. Aui, thank you for indulging me in that one. And yeah, we'll be back in a few. See you guys then.